Hello, my friends. Hola, amigos. I woke up this morning thinking that since I have a bit more time this morning, I was in the mood for slightly more sophisticated recipe today that takes a bit of time but with excellent results. I'm cooking lasagna today, and of course lasagna is a dish of Italian origin, but the way we are going to cook it here today, we are going to give it a lot of Spanish character. And the virtue of this recipe, I think, it has a couple of very good things about it. The first being that nutritionally is going to be very balanced. It's a lasagna that has no meat in it. It's mainly vegetables, aubergine and ripe tomatoes, and but with a bit of a twist, like I always want to say. To that, for the filling, we'll be using a bit of Spanish Iberico pancetta and a bit of foie or duck's liver from the Spanish Pyrenees, the mountains in the north of Spain, in Navarra, okay? All we need is here for you to see. Of course, we need the pasta plaques, the lasagna plaques. We'll be using 9 of them, okay? This is going to be a recipe for 4 or 5 people at least. Another good thing about this recipe, all lasagnas, they freeze very, very well. So although they do take a bit of time to cook, if you cook a whole baking tray of lasagna, and if it's for 2 or 3 people, the rest, the leftover, freezes very well. You can keep it in the fridge for as long as you want, and it doesn't lose any of the flavor. Okay, so we got the pasta. For the filling, we'll be using 3 aubergines, or maybe 2 if they're slightly bigger than this. What are we going to do with the aubergines? We'll be slicing them alongside, and we will, before we incorporate them into the lasagna, we'll be sealing them on a hot pan. Okay, that's what we'll be doing to them. The tomatoes will thinly slice, and they'll be layered in the lasagna as well. Okay, we got the foie, which it's a small amount of it, as you can see, and we'll be using it in little bits over the aubergine. This we will dice in small dices, and we'll be using this also together with the tomatoes. So the foie goes with the aubergine, and the pancetta goes with the tomatoes. Fine. We've got the grated cheese here to taste. I've got a lot of it, but the kind of cheese that you want to use with the lasagna is also up to you. I'm using manchego, of course, which is the traditional Spanish cheese from the south of Spain. And of course, we mustn't forget that for this recipe, to cover it all, we need quite a big amount of white sauce. So for the white sauce, don't forget we're going to be using quite a bit of butter, okay? So that's all we need, and not really a lot of ingredients. I've got, I forgot, a bit of tomato puree, concentrated, which will reinforce the role of the natural tomatoes in the recipe, okay? So I think we are ready to start. Stay with me. So we are cutting the aubergine lengthwise, okay? This is very easy to do. All right, so you do this with the rest of the aubergines. Now we need to salt them before they go on the frying pan to be sealed on both sides. All right. I'm having fun with this recipe. Okay, so this is what we do with the aubergine. Ready to go. And now the tomatoes. This is what you do with the tomatoes, okay? Going to finely slice them, okay? They should be sun-dried tomatoes, but honestly, this time of the year, you get hold of what you can in the supermarket or at the greengrocer. I'll be doing the same with the rest of the vegetables. So I've sliced the, I've chopped the pancetta, small amount, because it's very tasty. And we've got most part of the aubergine, or the eggplant, as Americans like to call it. We have the slices here as they've been salted before. I'm going to dry them a bit before they go on the pan, okay? Just oil the pan so that it does not stick to the bottom, okay? And get the heat on high, all right? And when the pan is really hot, we'll just seal them on both sides for like a minute or two, no more. So just 1 minute. Turn them over a couple of times. Make sure they don't burn. Okay, this is quite fun actually, with the sound and the smell. Make the pancetta golden, just slightly fry it. We need to do this because the flavor in the pancetta changes when it's been, you know, toasted or fried in the pan before we use it in the lasagna. All right. So now we've got the aubergine sealed in slices, thin slices. The tomato slices are ready too. We've fried the bit of pancetta that we wanted, and we have the other magic ingredient, the foie from the Pyrenees. And all we need to do now is cook a good quantity of white sauce, which you've seen me cook many other times with butter and a couple of spoons of flour and milk, preferably whole. So when we have a good quantity of white sauce, we'll be ready to layer the lasagna on the baking tray, and it will be ready to go in the oven, okay? So we need to do the white sauce, and then we'll assemble the lasagna, all right? For the white sauce, okay, we need a good quantity of butter, all right, might be adding a bit more, okay, right, medium heat for this, okay. We add in 2.5 spoons of white flour. All right. We don't want the white sauce too thick for the lasagna. All right, as it will actually thicken in the oven, and particularly we want to keep part of it or freeze it. Okay. So it needs to be the proper texture. Huh? We'll see. So we toast the flour, very important. We're going to add it gently, keep turning around. One thing I like to do with the white sauce is add in a bit of ground nutmeg which I think goes really well with the white sauce, particularly for this vegetable recipe. Okay, and we mustn't forget to salt it a little bit. So now what we need to do is to go on the assembly line, on the baking tray. We've got everything ready now, and this is so much fun. We have to layer the lasagna, okay, to our convenience. So just a few drops of olive oil. We've got the lasagna plaques here, which are pre-cooked, so they go straight in the oven. Alright, so we'll use them 3 and 3, alright. Okay, 3 for the bottom. Okay, right, just a bit of tomato sauce for a bit of fun. Okay. This is how I do it. To our ripe tomatoes, here's the combination of pancetta and natural tomato is always a good indication in the kitchen, okay? Just a tiny amount of pancetta, all right? And there we go. And now our lovely aubergine. What we do is we spread a little bit of foie over the aubergine. The combination of aubergine and foie is really going to be delicious. It's easier if you keep the foie cold, but I forgot to do that. You keep it in the fridge till the last minute and you can actually slice it, and this process is much easier, but it doesn't matter. You need a good amount of white sauce to cover all the lasagna. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's all covered. And a tiny bit of butter, no, here and here. 25-30 minutes, okay, medium height, medium heat, and you will see the result. After 30 minutes in the oven at 180 degrees, medium height, our aubergine, ripe tomato and foie lasagna is ready to be served. Let's see what we find here. Always careful. Oh, this is hot. Oh, just look at it. How juicy and creamy it looks. Wow. And these, you know, the advantage of it, if you don't eat the whole of it in one go, remember, this freezes so well. It's not a problem, and it tastes just the same when you defrost it, okay? So it goes so well with your favorite local red wine that I'm toasting to you, to your health. Buen provecho.